the Chair of the Standards Committee. Noswaith, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the meeting of the Standards Committee, Monday, June the 2nd. And I'm Julie Hughes, the Chair of the Standards Committee. Can I welcome everybody to the meeting? You should have all received your papers and information. So I'm going to take you onto the agenda first of all, but prior to that, could I just all ask you to check that your mobiles are switched to silent or switched off, please? And could I also ask you to mute your microphones unless you wish to speak, in which case indicate either with the electronic hand raise or do raise your hand. And hopefully the Democratic Services staff will help me if I miss anybody, because it is a hybrid meeting, so we have people here in the chamber as well as people on screen as well. Right, so let's take us to the agenda then. So item 1 then, first of all, we have apologies. I've received some apologies from Councillor Anthony Wren. Do we have any other apologies at all? No, I'm not hearing anybody, so no other apologies at the moment. Thank you. On to item 2 then is declarations of interest, including whipping declarations. So you've seen the papers that we've got and the information there. Has anybody got any declarations of interest they'd like to advise us of at this stage, please? No, I'm not seeing any declarations of interest. Could I just ask you that if something emerges during the meeting, due to the discussions, etc., where you feel you do need to declare an interest, could you please do it at that point? Thank you. So moving on to item 3 then, that's urgent matters. I haven't got anything that's been notified to me of urgent matters. I'll just double check with the monitoring officer and Democratic Services. No, so no urgent items at number 3. So I'm moving us straight on then to item 4, which is the final item on our agenda, which is dispensations. So you should have received the papers, and that's at pages 3 to 4 of your pack. So the purpose of this is we're going to receive any requests for dispensations, and we have one request for dispensation. So just to give you the information about the process, members of the press and public will be able to remain at the meeting whilst an application for dispensation is presented to the committee, and will be able to return to hear the committee's decision. However, under paragraph 18C, schedule 12A, Local Government Act 1972, the committee will exclude the press and public from the meeting whilst it deliberates on any application for dispensation. So this evening we have had one request for dispensation from Councillor Sam Swash, who's with us at the meeting this evening. Croeso, welcome Councillor Swash to the meeting. He would like to extend the dispensation that was granted on the 1st of July 2024. And we have a copy of the original dispensation request as attached. So first of all, I'm going to hand over to the monitoring officer, Mr. Gareth Owens, to just take us through the process and procedure, and he may bring in Councillor Swash to have a conversation with us as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Good evening, members. So, as the Chair has just said, this was a matter that you considered on the 1st of July last year. It's in relation to a planning application behind Councillor Swash's mother's house. At the time you considered the issue, we talked a lot about Councillor Swash's familiarity with planning regime and his particular role locally within the area, representing the views of his residents. And he, amongst others, was one of the founders of the Stop the Gladstone Estate Bill, which had been a focal point for objection to the proposed development. Given his familiarity and with all of the issues, you concluded that he had useful information to contribute to the planning issues, and so granted a dispensation allowing him to speak at the planning committee and answer any questions about the issue. At the time, Councillor Swash applied for permission to remain in the room during debate. You gave that a lot of consideration, but decided that it wasn't appropriate for him to remain in the room. So said that he would be able to speak and answer questions, but would nevertheless need to leave the meeting before the matters are debated. Noting that, of course, when the code was first envisaged, leaving the room was more of a significant issue than it is at the moment, because of course we live broadcast meetings, and so Councillor Swash will be able to follow the proceedings outside of the room as they are going on live. You granted the dispensation for the maximum period possible for 12 months. So it expires at the end of this month. Whilst the planning application is due to be considered at next week's planning committee, it is a large application. It is quite possible that it might not be concluded, or the consideration of it might not be concluded next week, and so Councillor Swash has applied, as you said, Chair, to renew the application. I checked with him to see whether anything had changed in the intervening 12 months, and other than the planning application being listed for next week, nothing has changed. His family circumstances remain the same, his circumstances remain the same. As you say, we'll see whether Councillor Swash wishes to add anything over and above what I've said, but in the circumstances, if there is no change, then the committee, it would be, well, unless the committee were able to identify a significant reason why, the expectation would be that dispensation is because the circumstances are no different to last time. And if you agreed last time, why would you make a different decision now? In essence, Chair, at that point, I don't know whether Councillor Swash wishes to add anything.
Councillor Swash, would you like to come in or say anything to the committee?
Thank you, Chair. There's not a great deal I can add to what the monitoring officer has said, really. The application is due to go to planning committee on the 11th of June, but similarly large developments have in the past been deferred, which has meant they've then come back later on. So obviously if my dispensation expires at the end of June, I then wouldn't be able to make any representations at any subsequent meetings if they were to happen. So I put in the application to extend it on as a sort of just in case a decision isn't made on the 11th.
Thank you very much. And before we propose that we go into private session, closed session to actually discuss this, are there any questions from anybody from the committee to Councillor Swash, or any points of clarification that are needed from the monitoring officer from anybody? No, so I'm not seeing anybody indicating. So could I have someone to propose that we actually move into closed session to actually discuss the dispensation, please? So I've got Councillor Hodge proposing, I've got Mark Morgan seconding. Can I see a show of hands to support that proposal? That's unanimous, thank you. So what we will do, we'll go into closed session to discuss. We will get the Democratic Services officers to place Councillor Swash into the waiting room where he can't hear anything or listen to our discussions, nor can members of the public. And then we'll come back and give our decision. So if we could put Councillor Swash in the waiting room, please.
No, we also have Councillor Mackie.
Okay,
so if Councillor Mackie could be put into the waiting room as
well. So, welcome, Councillor Mackie. Just so that you know, we're just going into closed session. So we're going to put you into the waiting room and then we'll bring you back in as well when we've come to our conclusions and decisions. So we'll just pop you into the waiting room as well.
Okay, Chair.
Have we stopped recording?
Yes. Well, the recording's going on, but the live stream stopped.
But the live stream stopped. Thank you very much. Okay, thank you. So we've had the information from Monitoring Officer Gareth and information from Sam Swash. And if you remind us what we'd said last time, we said he could go to the meeting, make representations, etc. But then when they were making the decisions, he would leave the meeting. However, if he was minded to anyway, he would see what was going on outside of the room anyway, because that's now a process that's accessible to everybody. So has anybody got any opinion in terms of anything different to what we did already in terms of extending this for a further year with the same conditions, or anything different at all, or comments? No from the room. What about over there online? No. Teresa? Teresa, yeah, can I bring you in?
Thank you, Chair. I think we should just maintain the same conditions.
Thank you. Okay, so could I have someone to propose that we grant it and maintain the conditions? So I've got David Davis in the room proposing, and I've got a seconder. I've got Jill Murgatroyd. Thank you. Can I see a show of hands for voting to do that? Thank you. That's unanimous as well. So what we need to do then is go back into the meeting. And are you going to deliver the result of our deliberations?
Yes, before we do,
okay.
I was just looking at the letter. I can see from the letter that I didn't add all the usual things that I normally add, which is that in the event that there's a similar. Sorry. I was just looking back at the letter and I can see that I didn't add, and I can't now remember, all the usual things that we add, such as that the dispensation applies to any application that's substantially similar, in my opinion, and that he would...
Gareth, sorry to interrupt. I've just sent you the resolution on Teams, if that helps.
Oh, right, okay. Was it covered in the resolution?
I think so. If not, it's in the preamble, which I'll just find now as well.
Okay, let me just have a quick look at that then. Speak and write, yeah, I was going to say we haven't got, I hadn't included speak and write in there as well, so thank you.
And I think,
yeah.
I think isn't there one usually that if he needs to meet with officers, that he needs to have, there needs to be somebody else present, and there needs to be written minutes of that meeting, I think.
That was included in the resolution, so yeah, all of that is there. Okay.
So, sorry, I can't. So we're all comfortable with that. Are we comfortable to go back into our public meeting now? And I'll get Gareth to actually deliver the result of that, and then we'll be closing this formal bit of the meeting then after that, and going into, don't leave the room though when we've closed that bit of the meeting, because if you remember, we're going into our informal protocol meeting. So okay, so we're ready to go back into the public meeting then, please. And like,
okay, I'll just start the live stream and then I'll bring them back into the room.
Thank you.
We'll jump out of our skin. We'll all jump out of our skin. And that lady shouts out that the meeting's being recorded.
Yeah. Well, Clarissa, welcome back to the meeting. Thank you for your patience in waiting for us to deliberate. We have come to a decision. I'm going to hand over to the Monitoring Officer, Mr. Gareth Owens, to deliver the result of our deliberations. Thank you.
So, having concluded that there isn't any difference in circumstances between this application to renew and the original application for the dispensation is extended for a further 12 months. And it is subject to the usual qualifications and additions, which I don't think I actually spelt out to you in the letter, Councillor Swash, at the time. So you may speak for up to 5 minutes at the planning committee. You must leave the room thereafter. If you can speak and write to officers if you need to do so. If you wish to meet with officers, you can do so, but there must be an independent person present and there must be minutes of that meeting. The dispensation will last for 12 months. And also, the dispensation can be extended to another planning application that is substantially the same, in my view, as the monitoring officer. So if there were to be a refusal and then a resubmission, as often as can happen, because of course developers get a free second go, don't they? If their permission is turned down, then without needing to come back to the committee, we can extend the dispensation to include that resubmission should it have a different number. So I will write and confirm the terms of the dispensation tomorrow.
Thank you all. Thank you.
Lovely. Thank you very much. So that's item 4 on our agenda. We have no more items on the agenda. Can I thank you all for attending the meeting? Thank you for the support from the Democratic Services staff as well. And our next meeting will be at the end of this month, our next formal standards committee meeting. So that concludes the meeting. Noswaith, good evening. Thank you.